And after Friday's court proceedings, so many left with questions about what is coming next. To help us break all this down, we are joined by Jennifer Coffindaffer, NewsNation contributor and former FBI special agent. Jennifer, it's always good to have you here. Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you for having me, Natasha.
So, Jennifer, was this a significant defeat for the defense in that the judge is not granting that trial extension?
Yes, that is significant. This motion to stay is not going to be extended. And of course, now we have the speedy trial clock and it's ticking. And the defense didn't want that to happen. Now, remember, the defense can still file continuance motions asking for continuances based on the amount of evidence they have to review. And I would expect that to occur.
And Kohberger says he was driving around at 4 a.m. that night. Do you think there's a more compelling alibi that the defense just has not revealed yet?
No, I think this is going to be their alibi, but the judge put some pretty serious deadlines on this alibi as well in terms of coming up with any witnesses the defense has, as well as coming up with more specifics about exactly where he was when he was driving around.
And it seems we're getting some indication the defense will be trying to plant some doubt about the DNA evidence. What are you tracking about that? Because how airtight did that DNA evidence seem to you from your perspective?
Well, the DNA evidence found on that sheath is very airtight, and it's airtight because it matches Bryan Kohberger without any sort of doubt. What they are looking at, though, is the genetic genealogy. How did they initially get to him, the tip, if you will, of him being a suspect? But I don't think that's going to work because at the end of the day, they swabbed his mouth legally via search warrant, and his DNA was on that sheath.
As far as alibis go, how strong of an alibi is saying that you were driving around at 4 a.m. that night?
Well, it's interesting, Natasha. Whenever we would interview somebody and they would admit to being in and around a crime scene, even though it was for another reason at another time, it was always such an aha moment. Yes, now they've placed themselves there. And he's kind of done this, basically saying he was driving around. I think the reason they submitted this is because the evidence is just too strong with that car being on camera, with the digital information from his cell phone. It was just too much to overcome. So they have to say he was in his car driving around.
Yeah, and our Alex Capriello was in that courtroom, and he told us Kohberger was in that suit and tie, that he was intently focused on the proceedings. And we know the Consalvis family was there as well. They did not want to miss something this important on Friday, no matter how painful it was to be there. Do you expect we will hear from Kohberger directly? I mean, with his background in criminology, with what he knows, will he want to testify?
I don't think he will. I think he will let his lawyers do their job. He has 4 of them lined up now. They're going to present a very zealous defense and have already that will help him and in his favor. And I think all 4 of them will tell him, you are not taking the stand. And I don't think he will.
Okay. Jennifer Coffindaffer, always appreciate the context. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.